Google owns search, Amazon owns shopping, Microsoft owns productivity, Apple owns sort of everything on an Apple device. A decade from now, we won't think of those businesses as quite as separate because the AI, it'll know you so well that when you're buying gifts, planning trips, and it doesn't care if Amazon has the best price, fine. If somebody else has a better price, and you don't even have to think about it. So it's a pretty dramatic potential reshuffling of how tech markets look. I'm quite impressed that these AI technologies are showing an ability to read and write. Heretofore, a computer could regurgitate the text of a book, but if you gave it like a test, did it really understand the information, it wouldn't be good. And what we're starting to see with these large language models, including ChatGPT, is some ability to read and therefore to write. There's a lot of work to be done to make them increasingly more accurate, more customized, but it's a pretty profound advance that'll be a tool in many, many professions to make people far more efficient.
Now, it seems like complexity is doubling every 6 months here in these models. What's the end game? Where is this going to end?
Well, if you have the ability to help white-collar workers, by looking through complex documents, whether it's a contract or a lawsuit or a drug application, the implications for productivity are pretty significant. In one of the early applications, instead of when you do search, just getting a bunch of links, you'll be able to have a dialogue, say, okay, I'm taking my family degrees, here's how old my kids are, here's how much I can spend. And you're going back and forth and refining it. And so it's like talking to a person who's very knowledgeable. Certainly in the search pace, it's a far better experience than anything that we've had to date.
Are you worried about any aspects of it?
Technology always has a downside. Hydrocarbons, sadly, we didn't realize at first, but now, we understand that. Digitization, our social networks spreading bad things, and what should the rules be around that? So it's pretty rare that you have something new that doesn't have some downside. Just the disruption of, okay, what does that mean for job training? You have people worried about essays that kids write. They'll be able to cheat and have the computer do it for them. And it's great people are debating these issues. I think overall the benefit will be net positive, but I do not pretend there's not a lot of care that we're going to have to exercise, particularly in areas like health, where we have a labor shortage even in rich countries. So if you could make doctors more effective, help them with their paperwork, help them find different things, help them track what's going on with their patients, that could be good. But we'll have to be, just like the driving application, the accuracy is going to have to be super high. And we don't have that yet.
No. What's going to be the next technology after AI?
AI is the one that I've been thinking about my whole life and wondering, okay, how hard is it? How are we going to get this? Until the last year or so, I'd say it was going a little slower than I expected. But now it's actually surprised me that we have this acceleration. There are things like nuclear fusion to have super cheap energy. Someday electricity could be phenomenally cheap, and that would be great for society. Someday, we'll understand the brain and health well enough that even tough things like Alzheimer's will be able to cure. So we have a lot of frontiers out there, but AI is be the biggest thing in this decade, I would say.
Can you see who's going to win it? Will there be a winner or just be there?
No, I'm not sure there will be a winner. I mean, Google has owned all of the search profits, so the search profits in aggregate will be down, and their share of it may be down because we've been able to move. Microsoft has been able to move fairly fast on that one. Eventually we'll create a personal agent that understands all your communications and what you're reading, that can help you and give advice to you. And in a sense, the personal agent will replace going directly to Amazon or going directly to Siri or going to Outlook or going, so the fact that Google owns search, Amazon owns shopping, Microsoft owns productivity, Apple owns sort of everything on an Apple device. Once you get this personal agent, it kind of collapses those separate markets into hey, I only want one personal agent. And of course, it can help me shop and plan and write documents and, work across my devices in this rich way. And so a decade from now, we won't think of those businesses as quite as separate because the AI, it'll know you so well that when you're buying gifts, planning trips, and it doesn't care if Amazon has the best price, fine. If somebody else has a better price, and you don't even have to think about it. So it's a pretty dramatic potential reshuffling of how tech markets look.
Right. Now we have geopolitical situations in microprocessors, and we have it in AI as well. Do you think the US will come out at the top here?
Well, I don't think of technology as being partitioned country by country. I mean, the big tech companies have great engineers all over the world. And, to the degree it's a general tool, typically you just let people compete. The US-China relationship has some aspects where the US is trying to keep technology from getting to China. Mostly so far that's been about chips, the high-performance chips. I don't know how that'll play out in AI. I'm afraid that AI has so many beneficial uses that if you attempt to partition the world, that could be very, very difficult.